In the news recently that Monday there was a fundraiser and Mrs. Obama, First Lady of the United States, Obama, was speaking there and blaming the Republicans for the failure of her national school lunch program standards and saying, and I quote, that her legislation and her national school lunch standards were drafted by experts using sound science, but that the Republicans will continue their efforts to roll back her program anyway. And quoting her, that's simply not acceptable. It's not. As parents, there's nothing we wouldn't do for our kids. Nothing. Yeah, you're right, Mrs. Obama. There's nothing we wouldn't do for our kids, including packing their lunch if they're being served things that they refuse to eat. We need our kids to be full and ready to learn in the afternoons after they've had their lunch. And if they're being served things that they won't eat, then it's our job to pack their lunches at home as their parents, because I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm the one who decides what my children eat for lunch, not you. I don't need your interference in what my school is serving my kids for lunch. If kids are on free and reduced lunch and they're getting their lunch through the federal government through our tax dollars, that does not give you the right to come in and change every single thing that they're allowed to eat so that they refuse to eat it. Where am I getting that from? Well, let's go straight to the information. As you say, your information is backed by science. A report right in the Obama's backyard says that 60,000 low-income students in the D.C. area are skipping lunch altogether, unhappy with the food that's been served at their schools. The kids' failure to eat is costing schools big money, as they lose $3 in federal subsidies every time a student on free lunch forgoes taking a meal. So even the free and reduced lunch kids are finding a way to bring food from home to avoid eating what you have prepared for them in the way of this amazing new program that you've started because you want to tackle childhood obesity. I have a better idea for you, FLOTUS. I think the best thing for you to do would be to tackle childhood poverty. Tackle inner city poverty. How about starting a program right on this one of these fantastic lunches that you have when you're out fundraising? What if you got 250 of your closest Hollywood pals to pay $32,000 a plate and use that money that you raise at that luncheon to tackle some inner city issues? How about a tutoring program for kids after school to make sure they can learn by the time they're in the 4th grade to read and do math so they don't have to get into the prison pipeline? How about a program that would help their parents learn how to read or teach their parents job skills so that they wouldn't have to receive free and reduced lunch because they could have a job? How about a program that tackles inner city violence by taking some of those kids who are being lured into gangs and showing them that there's another way out? There are a ton of needs in the inner city that you could be addressing with the power of the First Lady of the United States. Instead, you're quibbling with suburban moms and dads and messing up the menus at McDonald's with all of those calorie little signs that say a Big Mac is so many calories. That's not your job. You don't get to tell us what we're going to eat. This isn't the Soviet Union or some communist state. This is America. If people want to feed their kids chips in their kids' lunch, if parents don't care about their kids' nutritional habits, you teach the kids nutritional habits at school, but you don't interfere with what they're eating at lunch. The food pyramid was set out by the government, and that's what schools were following before you got involved. It's time for you to stop blaming the Republicans. The people who are opposing the school lunch program that you started are parents and kids. Nobody wants it. Just a word from the wise.